Hi, I'm Paul Seal from coachhead.co.uk. Welcome to the 7th episode in this series where I'll show you how to build a website with Umbraco 13. And in this episode, we're going to look at lazy loading and responsive images. And we're going to do that using a package called Slimsy. So we're going to install Slimsy. We're going to set up the configuration for it. We're going to have a look at how we use source sets. And then we're going to do add the lazy loading and get it all working. So before we do that, I just want to show you what it is and what problem it's solving. So on the internet, when we are visiting web pages, we have lots of images. So it's not set up on the header one. Let's scroll down. We'll go on the home page, go down to these. So on the image links. So what we've got here is we've got all this markup, which actually is creating lots of different image sizes that will work at different media query sizes. So a media query is where the browser works out what width the browser window is at, and so a media query is like a style that comes in and says, oh, when it's at this width, then you do this. You show this, usually with CSS. But with image source sets, you can also do this. So we've got a source set here, and what we're using Slimsy for is to generate these different source sets. So it's a combination of using the cropper that comes with Umbraco, and the cropper that we use is Image Sharp. And then, so that is where we are able to put in these. Here we can do like reduce it right down to 40 by 30, press enter, and that resizes that right down there. So that's the image crop URL. So what this is doing is it's saying, well, as the browser is at all these different widths, if it's at this width, then show the image at this size. And that means that people on mobiles aren't needing to necessarily download a really high resolution image. They can have a cropped version of it that's a lot smaller that's relevant for that space. So that's the responsive side of it. And also we can make it lazy as well. And what we mean by lazy is that actually the image doesn't need to load at all until you've scrolled down. So if we control F5 on this and we go to network, we just clear all this, control F5. So it has, because they're quite close to here, it has already loaded in the image of the submarine and what have you. But let's say if we go to the episodes page, what we should find if we go in here, just F12, kill that, control F5 again. So what we'll find is that we've only got images. Oh, we have got all of them actually. We've got the very small cropped version of images 1 to 11. And then images 2 to 6, we've got the bigger version already loaded in. Now, if I start scrolling down here, you'll see that the network comes in and those requests for those other images, they get called, and therefore it's getting it ready. It sees that the browser's coming, it's going to be in view soon, so it starts downloading those images at the higher resolution image. So we've got a case where we get the image in at a smaller version just for the first load to satisfy the browser that it's got everything, and then after that's loaded, it goes back and it replaces, and when the image is going to be used, it goes back and replaces it with a high quality version of it. So that's the lazy loading side of it. So let's have a look at what Slimsy is then. So it's a package by Jevon Leopold, and I actually had a chat with Jevon and talked about it on my YouTube channel. So yeah, he talked all about Slimsy, its history, and what its place is, and how it's got to where it is now. So it's one of the most popular packages for Umbraco, one of the longest running packages as well. And it's super easy to use. So it's available on marketplace.umbraco.com. It's completely free. You install a NuGet package, and this is the NuGet package. The version we're going to use is 5.1.2. because that one works with Umbraco 13. The version 6 is one made for Umbraco 14 and above. On the marketplace page, it's got all these instructions on how you can use it. You can use it to create yourself a picture tag. So this is it using the tag helper, and then what it will do is it create a picture tag for you, but we're not going to use the picture tag in this video. We're going to do it slightly different, but we are going to use the configuration in the app settings for things like the width step and all of that. So let's get into setting it up and I'll talk you through it as we do it. So we're going to just have a basic usage of it on this site then. So let's go into the code and have a look. I'm just going to close all the documents. Right, so we want to install the package, and we've installed the package using Package Manager Console. We've installed the package using Tools, NuGet Package Manager. So I thought it'd be good to install the package a different way this time, and that is just by editing the CS_proj file and then doing a rebuild. So I'm just going to put that in here. So I'm going to do a package reference and then say include equals our.umbraco.slimsy, and then we'll do version equals 5.1.2, and then we'll close that off. And then we'll save that, and then we'll do a clean solution and then a rebuild solution. And what that should do is that should install the package. And if we have a look in the output, you might see that it's actually installing it. Yep, see, copying the Slimsy files, it's done what it's needed to do. So we now have Slimsy. So you've seen 3 different ways to install packages now. So that's why I've included that. So that's it installed, and then we need to get it to start being used. So in the program files, we need to go into here in the program file, sorry, we need to go in here, and at the top we need to do using Slimsy.dependency injection. Okay, and then in here we will do, where it's got add website, we'll do add Slimsy. There we are. And then that's all we need to do there. But then what we want to do is we want to put some configuration in. So if we have a look, there's probably a Slimsy, yeah, there's a Slimsy configuration schema file here. So that means that when we're trying to add the Slimsy section, we'll get some, what do you call it? We will get some IntelliSense. So there we go, Slimsy. So we're putting it at the end before the last curly brace, and press enter. And now we're going to put in the configuration. Now you could probably just copy it from here and then adjust it. That might be easier. So if we copy that, we could just paste that in like that. So you could have a width step. Now this width step is what I was talking about, like the media query. So what it means is it will generate a different cropped image every 180 pixels basically, and you can reduce that down. So in the example one I've got that set, the width step set to 80. We can say use the crop as the source. I'm not sure on that one. I wonder, does it mention what that is? Use crop as source? No, it doesn't say much about that. It's probably in the documentation, but I've got that set to false on mine. The default quality of the image is 70. The format, you can do things like use WebP. At the minute, I think there's something about Umbraco where if you use the image cropper and get it to change the format to WebP, it's really large image. So there's a pull request going in to fix that. I think it's probably even been merged, but it will come out in future release. But we won't mess with the format on this. You can change the background color for the image. So I'll just leave all this to what it is on the default, but I'll just reduce that down to 80. Okay, so we've got that in place now. And then once we've got that in place, we also need to update the view imports file. And we want to just add some lines here. So using, oh, it might actually be in the documentation. Let's see. Oh yeah, add these. So we've got, copy these in here. Slimsy enums, tag helper for Slimsy if you want to use it. The Slimsy service, and on mine I've also got using Slimsy dot extensions, because that's what we're going to use for the source sets on the images. Okay, so there's a couple of places that I'm going to use this on. There's the image link. So if we go into our views folder, partials, block grid, components, and then we have a look at the image link, we'll see we've got this image here. So we'll want to put a class of lazy load, and I'll show you the library that we use for that. And then at the moment, we've just got a source attribute. But what we can do is we can make that, instead of it using the crop of 400 by 290, we can actually reduce this down to 40 by 29 with a quality of 40. So really low resolution, low quality image. What we will need to do is we'll need to make sure we've got the width and height in there, which we have, 400 by 900 by 290. We can put in a sizes attribute equals auto. So when you're using the source set, you can set the different sizes you want to do, but we can just get the collection of all these source sets, and then we just tell it to be auto on the sizes. So we'll just do that. And then here where we've got the source, just before that, let's put in a data source set. So data source set equals, and then we'll just do at url.get source set URL. So this is, if we hover over it, this is a Slimsy extension. We can F12 into that, and that will decompile it, and it will show us what it is that we're actually calling when we do that. So yeah, it says a Slimsy extension. There we are. So if we go back, and then we want to just open and close brackets there. So in this, we want to do model.content.image. So get the source set URLs for this and do it based on a 400 by 290 image. So it will then work out all of the different source sets that it needs to get us up to that image size, based on the original images coming in at 40 by 29. So we should see different sizes going up on the smaller crops up to that one. So it should be as simple as that. We also need to make sure that we are referencing the JavaScript that we need. So there's a file which I will put a link to a gist file for you, which has got this script block. But if we go into the main, and then just after this, we can put this in here. So this is a script tag that has got a integrity attribute here. So it means that if this CDN file ever got edited, that integrity char wouldn't match, and therefore it means it's been tampered with, and it won't load it in. So we can do that. So we've got that. That's the one that will do the lazy loading for us, lazy sizes. And that should be all we need really to make this all work. So let's go and have a look, see how that is now. So I'm just going to do a rebuild, and I'm going to run the site again. And let's get this up in this browser. So remember, we did it for the image link, which are these ones here. So at the moment, we've got these in here as just image tags like that with a source, and then once it loads up, you'll see that that has changed quite a lot, and it will actually be rendering out the source set, and the initial source will be the smaller version of the image. Just give that time to load and we'll be able to see. Here we go. I always like to try and load a back office and then you know, oh yeah, that's awake, so this one's coming. Yeah, did you see that? So it came in blurry and then it replaced it. So that's the lazy load side of it. And then you've got these data source set. So if we go to network, we click on this responsive thing here. We filter by images, we clear this, and then we go down to the lowest, I think. Let's just go down to something really small. Clear that, right, Control F5. So what we've got coming in is these images here with the width of 40 and 290. And then you see that that tau one got replaced by one with a width of 240. So now if we were to increase the width, you should see the tau TAO one come in at another size. Not sure why that's not done it. Do Control F5. Yeah, we can see it's come in here at a larger size. It's still 240. Oh, maybe it never gets past 240. I'm not sure. We've got the width of this one here by 560. So yeah, they are different size images for different purposes. So that's all working on that one, and then we can do the same on another one. So we've got the image with caption, and this one's a good example because actually on this one we get to use an extension method. Yeah, it's an extension method from the block preview extensions. So if we go into this file and we do @using, and then we do umbraco.community.blockpreview.extensions. Now we in the back, actually before I use it, I'll show you what the problem is. So you know how we were doing a source attribute and we were getting it to come in at a very low quality. So if you see like this, we'll do get crop URL and we're saying, oh, we want the original image, the first version of the image to be 80 by 58 and with a quality of 40. So that'll be really low quality, small image, right? And we want it to be lazy load. Yeah, we want that to happen. And we also want a width and a height. So we'll do a width equals 800 and the height equals 580. And that keeps the aspect ratio. So with us doing that, and then we want to also set the sizes as well. So we set the sizes attribute, sizes equals auto. There we go. So we've got those things added on, and then we just need to put in the data source set as well. So we'll do data-source set equals, and then in this we want to do @url.get source set URLs. Open and close, and we'll do model.content.image, and then we'll do an 800 by 580. So we're saying generate some source set URLs up to 800 by 580, and with the lazy load and everything else like that, this will all start working. So, and then I'll show you what the problem is in the back office. So let's go back to the front end. So this was the image with caption. So you see how we have this Tower Bridge image. And then if we go to the network tab for just images, we clear that. Actually, what's good, if you want to debug things like this, a good thing to do we can just copy this content, copy that main content. I'm going to put it into a new post. So content page, testing image with caption, and I'm going to paste it in here. Add content from the clipboard, main content from home. Cannot create a preview. So that there you see, this is the difference between your custom previews and the one that comes with the block preview package. But if we save and publish, you'll see that they've come in now, but at first they couldn't create that preview. And then I just want to delete these other images, and we'll just add a, I don't know if that is mandatory, we'll see. We can always fix that if it is. Okay. Right, let's try and load the page, see what happens. Right, so it doesn't fail on us, but we should only have one of these images on here. So now if we clear the cache, let's go down to a low resolution image. Right, I'm not sure why it's testing image with caption, why it's going for cake, circus, game, when I don't know why they are there. Right. I think it's something to do with the way the browser's cached that there. But anyway, if we have a look and see that the width is 560 and the height is 406. But if we, as we keep getting it bigger, it keeps getting the different width step images. So it's stepping it up to get that image at the different resolutions. And it will get the bigger one as well. I realized that I didn't actually show you what the problem was with the back office. And also I realized that the way it's currently set up, you won't actually see that problem. And I'll tell you why. So what I'm referring to is when we were looking at this file, and I was saying that we're going to use this extension, the block preview extensions, because in the back office, we're only going to see this small image cropped version. Well, I completely forgot when I recorded this last night. So I've come back to show you what the problem is. So let's just say the reason is that when it's on the front end, we have this extra script that goes through, because we've got the class of lazy load, it goes through and it replaces any images that have got the class of lazy load to, if you've got a data-source or a data-source set, then it will replace those with it using JavaScript. And so that means that it will give this image the source set of this, and therefore it will look like the big image. Now, in the back office, when you're using the block grid previews, if we go to data types, customs, and we go on to the main content and the image with caption, let's just change this over. Instead of it using our custom preview, which it is, which we're going to leave it, but for the purpose of demoing this problem, I'm going to clear this and I'm going to pick the one from the package. Submit that and save. Now let's go back into here and you will see that the image is all blurry. And we could use this if we want, because I'm going to show you how to fix it. And if you want to, you could just use this and not use the other one. So hoping you understand here, the reason this is blurry is because the source is set to the 80 by 58 with a quality of 40, so that when the page first loads, that's the blurry small image, and then after the page is loaded, that's when this JavaScript called lazy sizes comes in and it replaces all the images. It's a way to get better scores on Google Lighthouse and things like that. So now we know about that, what can we do to make sure that it works in the back office? We can do this if check, and we can say if context.request is back office is block preview request, then do this, and otherwise do the other. So what we can do for now, let's just copy this and paste that in there and then delete that. Right, so we're going to say P back office, and P front end. Let's save that and let's hot reload. Go on to the front end again. So we'll just Control F5 on that. Let's see. So we say, look, back office. So that's saying that it's on the back office. You know that it's coming from there. But if we go to the front end, where's that? I don't know why that's not come through. How has that not come through? Let me just see. Is the oh, it's there. The P's there. It's just white. Don't know why it's white, but maybe it's just a styling rule within that block. But anyway, so it is there. So that's showing you that it's doing that. So we don't need those two. And really, in the back office, we could just not worry about doing the smaller version of it, and we just set it to 800 by 580 and delete that quality setting. Delete the auto sizes. Probably keep the width and height. It doesn't really matter about keeping those. And we can delete data source set, and we can delete the lazy load class. Now if we save that, then if we go back into here, we'll just experiment, see if we did need to hit the reload button, but we didn't. Yeah, so now it looks nice, it's working. But don't forget, we don't have to use that. We can actually use the custom one that we made, but it looks all right with the block preview one. I like the custom one because you get to see it straight away. You don't have to wait for a save. So it's up to you which one you're going to use, but I'm going to change it back. So go into data types, main content, image with caption, advanced, preview, remove that one, and I'm just going to use the image one that I created just because I just prefer it. So that's it working in place on the image with caption as well. And that was basically it, using Slimsy for that purpose. So we now have lazy loaded images, and if you look to see if it's lazy loaded, you can just go in and you can see lazy auto sizes, lazy loaded is cached, so it's got it all there. Yeah, so I think that is enough for that with those images. So if you like the video, please click on like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, we've got over here, we've got the guest book as well. It'd be great to hear from you if you're following along. Let us know what episode you're up to, how you're getting on. If you're struggling, and don't forget to comment in the YouTube video if you're struggling as well. And sometimes people want to say thanks by buying me a coffee, and if that's you, then you can go to codeshare.co.uk/coffee. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. The videos are all completely free on YouTube. So yeah, looking forward to moving on with this series where we go into the next episode, and that will be episode number 8, and that will be some C# and .NET features. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.